Hello. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Thank you so much for joining. So today is a tricky day, huh? They dumped it lower last night and pushed it right back at where they opened yesterday. So interesting day ahead. I hope you guys made good decisions last night and didn't hold on to any puts. As I said in the beginning of this week is one of the most annoying week to swing trade at because of this main reason. You never know what's going to happen. And if you got puts, if you're still holding puts yesterday at open, you'll be back to break even. Whatever gains you made, poof, gone. Interesting day ahead, and we have Federal Reserve at 2 o'clock exactly. They will be coming out with their interest rate hike decision. Until then, I'm just expecting a floater operation in the market. I won't be surprised if 400 tested and 401.50 tested today and to fill the gap to the upside. And I won't be surprised if they dumped it lower. There are like two different possibilities, so make sure to be careful. This is the same price action, same fucking price action which has been going on for the last 3 FOMC minutes. They gap it higher and they just float around for the entire day, and then like they will dump it lower into FOMC only to get it back to where it was after Powell finishes talking. We have seen this before, and the market is expecting 75 basis point rate hikes. And if Powell comes out with a surprise of 100 basis points, and now that's an issue. I mean, we've got to wait and see if the market likes it or not. That's the first thing. And if the market didn't like it, we're going to have an issue. If we break below 394 again on SPY, well, we're going to have the same price action as we did yesterday, and watch out for 390 back again. But if Powell does come out with the 75 basis point rate hikes, and if he's still delusional about the fact that there is not going to be any recession or whatever it is, market is going to gas up higher, and 398 will be next, 400 will be next, and 401.50 will be next, and we just gonna keep pushing higher and higher from here. I've been saying this for the past 2 weeks. Don't get overly bearish until SPY breaks below 390. And as you can see, yesterday we tested 390 exactly to the penny, and then we bounced. 389.83 is the number I have. You can see the lows of this candle which has been printed. Lows of this candle was 389.96. There are no accidents, there are no coincidences, so something to keep an eye out for. Volume is too low, hard to hear you. Let me see, let me fix that. Why is that? It's interesting. Can you guys hear me now? Is it clear? Let me know if it's not, so we can make some changes from my end. Alright. Yes, perfect. So, as I was saying before, wait until FOMC. It's pretty important, and that can move the markets in a big way. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining, as always. Really appreciate it. And today's live stream, if you guys just joined, we're gonna go over FOMC. We're gonna go over how to trade it, and we're gonna keep an eye out for the stocks like Meta. We're gonna keep an eye out for stocks like Google. We're gonna keep an eye out for the stocks like Alphabet. These are the important stocks to keep an eye out for leading into today. Yeah, now we're all good. I'm new to this. I'm still figuring it out. I'm sorry about that. So I have four charts on my screen right here: SPY and QQQ, which will always be here, and under it I have Meta and Google. They all reported terrible earnings yesterday, and Meta didn't report yet, but Google reported terrible earnings. Shopify, terrible, absolutely disastrous. And we have Microsoft, which is another terrible earnings. And right now, even after those terrible earnings, they still pushed higher, and people already started making theories that we are trying to put a bottom here. Even after terrible earnings, market is pushing up, bro. It's like we put a bottom, bro. Like, yeah, get the fuck out. It's like we are in a kind of a scenario where like market already knows that the earnings are going to be bad, and once the earnings which we got was actually bad, why will it dump even further? Market already priced in, market is already aware of the fact that the earnings are going to be terrible, and you got the terrible earnings. Why are you giving the surprise peek at your face after you got the same thing what the market was expecting? The only thing which will dump this market right now, or not the market, the particular stock, is they're already expecting bad. If they pull a pro gamer move and comes out and say like, yeah, look at us, we can do it worse, that's when we will see a huge gap down, like what we saw on Facebook like 2 earnings back. That was a disaster. Something like this. Where is the gap? Yep, here you go. If you want to see something like this, you need to report something which blows the mind of the market. Like, my expectations were already too low, but damn, we need that type of earnings. But for today, it's just gonna be like either a 401, expect for a huge range to the upside or to the downside. 401 in SPY is possible, and 390 and lower is possible as well. So if you are gonna trade SPY today, I would recommend you to follow the price action. And if you are from the Chris Saints Discord, or if you are from our Discord, make sure to check my tab and make sure to keep a note of the numbers. Do not go short at resistance, do not go short at support levels, and do not go long at resistance levels, because that can make you lose money real quick. Spotify, oh, it's been a long time since I've taken a look at that stock. Spotify, oh, they had earnings. See, another example, terrible earnings pushing higher. Did their monthly listeners go higher or something? What's going on? Yeah, Shopify is just like range bound between 116 and 116 is the top of the range, right? Yep, between 116 and all the way down to $97. So it's just being range bound, back and forth, back and forth. So if we do push higher, don't be surprised to see 116 to be 116 to 117 range to be tested again. And let's see if they have enough gas in the tank to push it higher. For example, if Federal Reserve comes out and said like 75 basis points and Powell was so bullish, it's gonna easily push it higher, all the way higher. I mean, not so much, but at least to $120. Thoughts on BA for calls? What do we have on BA? BA, oh, they reported earnings as well. Oh my days, it's an absolute disaster, a mess all across the board. Alright, so for BA, it's pretty simple as well, right? Watch out for this highs, which is currently, okay, watch out for this level, where is it at? 161.25. If we go above it, 161.25, and if we take out the highs at 163, we can easily fill this gap all the way at 166. Now there is a trade over here if you guys want to take it. Alright, so watch out for 161. You can note it down right now, 161.25. If we open above it, and if we didn't get rejected over there, and keep an eye out for SPY and QQQ as well while trading this, because if SPY and QQQ pummels down, we are not going to expect much from this either. I mean, same thing happened with Tesla on Friday. If you guys remember, Tesla was looking very strong, but QQQ and SPY just drilled lower and Tesla got rejected at 840 and then like closed the day at 820 or something. So similar thing might happen, not saying will happen. It is possible, it might happen. So keep an eye out for SPY and QQQ and keep an eye out for the numbers over there. So 156 or 161.25 is important. Above 161.25, watch out for this highs, which was made at July 22nd and which was at 163.34. So if you got in at 161.25, push it higher, like get the calls, trade it higher to 163 and to the highs of 163.50, and once it breaks above it, you can trade it all the way to 166.95 to the gap fill right over here, which was opened at April 26th. So that is a trade in BA. What do you look for on charts in such a volatile markets? Which moving averages do you use to look for positions and entry? All right, do you see, now I hope you can see the charts clearly. Just give me a minute, let me zoom it in. This is all the indicators I use. This is how my chart looks. I just trade based off of support and resistance, and I have ATRs. That's all it is. I believe in keeping it simple. That's way better than cluttering the charts with shit tons of indicators. That'll help you to, like, you know, see the market as it is. Focus on the price, everything else will fall in the right place. And the indicators like RSI, MACD and all those stuffs, like, it just follows the price. So it'll be better for you guys to just focus on the price and then use indicators as a secondary indicators, secondary confirmation for later use. So the market is opening in another 1 minute. So if you guys want me to leave the BA on the side, let me know. I'll just leave it over there so we can see how it's gonna do, how it's performed. So 1 more minute to go. Good luck, everyone. Let's make some money. So this is SPY. We're gonna leave SPY here, and we're opening right there. So watch out for 395.72. That is important levels to keep an eye out for. So if you get rejected there, well, ain't gonna do shit. What's the next one? BA, let's see. Right, looks like they're opening right near our number. So let's see if they have enough gas in the tank to push us higher. Have you guys noticed this? I don't know if it's just the brokerage which we use. So in Robinhood, it takes some time for the premiums to update in the options. So for example, like once the market opens, the premiums won't get updated immediately. So there are a few cases where like it takes its time. Have you guys noticed it? I noticed this especially with UPS. It took like until 9:35 for all the premiums to get updated, and by the time the stock already made the move which I wanted it to play. So that was a tough one. I don't know if it happens only with Robinhood. I saw it in Webull as well. It's the same bullshit which was going on over there too. So, well, tough luck, I guess. So we are floating around. It's something to keep an eye out for. As I said, don't expect much until FOMC. We're just going to be floating around. Nothing is gonna happen. If they do break about 395.68 or 395.78, the number which we are watching, we'll take it from there. The next it opens doors for 396.81 and all the way up to like 398. Just about 5 to 10 minutes wait in RH. Yes, yep. Doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it's just annoying as hell. Because when you have the plan, when you have your own plan setting up things, and then like the price already made the move and you lost the trade, so yeah, it sucks. It is what it is, I guess. Right, SPY got rejected. Let's see where we're going down to. So, are you guys playing BA today for long side? Let's see if BA got enough juice in the tank to push up higher all the way above. If SPY does good, today and fill the gap, BA can easily push to 166. So let's see how it goes. Do you use Robinhood for majority of your trades? I use Robinhood to trade spreads. Other than that, I don't use Robinhood much. I mean, if I want to day trade something, I use it because it's fun. And I mostly trade futures. I use Ninja Trader for it, and I mainly trade ES and NQ for most of the day. And if I do want to like trade spreads or whatever it is, if I want to experiment out multiple strategies, then that's when I use Robinhood because it's easier and it doesn't require much collateral, unlike the other brokerages. So yeah, it's fun. So, oh, looks like, did anyone of you followed Alva's Microsoft call trade for earnings? He put on like $340 and then like flipped it to 840. Amazing. Amazing. Bless him. All right, so as I said, just floating around in SPY, 393.94 is still important, which is the bottom of the range. And if we do break under it, watch out for 393. Like that should be acting as support. If it's not holding up, then yeah, we're done for. What about Microsoft? Let me see what's going on. We did gap up. They had this goose operation after ours. Alright, Microsoft 262 is important. If they break above it, watch out for what was yesterday's high. That should be tested. Let me pull out the extended trading sessions. Alright, so yesterday's highs, as you can see, we got rejected at 265 and yesterday's highs was at 267. So if we do keep pushing higher and slowly melt up higher, we can easily see Microsoft push to like 265 or 267 to the upside. But we gotta see, we gotta wait and see. If you want to take the risk, your risk it stops at 261, and here it goes. So just day trade it, don't hold it through Federal Reserve, and if you do that, you'll probably be fine. There goes Microsoft. Nice. There's a trade here to 266, and BA is still on the watch list. I needed to break above 160, 125, as I said before. We're still struggling around that area. So let's see if it has the gas in the tank to break above it. Any trade ideas on Google? What's going on with Google? They gapped it up 110. Did they break above it? Nope. They didn't break above 110. I would recommend to wait until like 111.50 is taken to the woodsheds. They're still struggling at 110 levels. And let me see, I already updated the price action of Google. Let me post it on Discord for everyone. Alright, so you guys can note down the numbers right now. So for Google, it's 106 and 107.64 is important. And to the upside, watch out for 110, 111.50 and 112.50 for resistance. So these are the three numbers to keep an eye out for. Again, if SPY pushes to 400 today after FOMC, I won't be surprised if these numbers are tested. What time frame do you use most for intraday? If I want to trade intraday, I will use 5, 15, and 30. Those are the 3 time frames which I use. But if you think about it, all the time frames are important. So there is no such thing as this time frame is better than that time frame. Price is the only thing matters. It's like you got to keep an eye on every time frame to get into one conclusion. It's not like one after the other. So try to incorporate every time frame. It'll give you a basic idea on where the stock might go, and use the smaller time frames for entry and exit, like 5 minutes or 15 minutes. That will work. So Meta earnings, what are you guys thinking? Do you guys think this is just a bull trap today and we're gonna push higher? What's going on? What's gonna happen? What do you guys think? Let me know. Are you guys playing the earnings for Meta? So let's see what SPY is doing. Alright, so we're still struggling, we're still floating around, nothing is going on. If you guys notice something, we're still in the range. We're still in the range of like 395.78 to the downside, which is at $393.97 to like $393. That's a $2 tight range which we had 2 days back. It's still intact. So something to keep an eye out for. Play the range until one side gives up, kind of thing. Hey Trick, how you been? Thanks for joining, appreciate it. SPY is pushing here, interesting. So if you guys need to hedge your folios right now, you can do it multiple ways for FOMC. So you can either buy calls all the way up, or you can either buy some cheap puts, whatever you see. Those will be fine as well. So it's totally up to you guys on how you decide to play it. No impact Meta. That's true. That's smart actually. No need to gamble. It's a really good smart move. But for now, Boeing looks like it's not gonna do it. It's kind of annoying right now, isn't it? We needed to about 161.25. It's not gonna give us 161.25. We're not gonna take the trade. If it gives us 161.75, we can trade it to 163, and if it gives at 163, we can trade this all the way up to 166.80. That's a big candle on SPY. Interesting. That's an interesting looking candle there. Headed right into the resistance. Alright, so did you guys see this? Some guy just YOLO'd on Microsoft 255 calls and made 18 grand. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So if you guys structure your portfolio, we have to talk about this. So there are certain cases where you might need to structure your portfolio to protect from both upside and to the downside, right? We call this delta neutral strategies. So if you guys have traded options, you guys must know what a delta is, right? It's one of the options Greek, which will actually make you money as the stock price. It tells you how much money you'll be making for every dollar move in a stock price. So that's what delta is. So delta neutral is something like where you make money regardless. Like if a stock market trades flat, range bound, or whatever it is, you'll be making money. So if you guys are into those types of strategies, I would highly recommend looking into iron condors. Iron condors is something like where, like, if the stock is trading flat, for example, take a look at SPY here. From, let me see, from July 20 to right now, we had just been in range. We didn't do anything, even though we had wild swings up and down, most predominantly still in range, right? So days like this, the best thing for you to do is open an iron condor, 400 to the upside and 385 to the downside. As long as the SPY is staying in between these 2 points, as long as SPY is trading flat, you'll be making shit tons of money. If it works, it works. Like, there is a lot of different strategies you can use in options to manipulate the premiums. So this is one of them. Something to keep an eye out for. So when is Meta earnings? After hours? Yes, sir. We are reporting after hours in Meta. Right, Boeing is looking good here. Watch out for 163. Let's see if it has enough gas in the tank to push us all the way to 166. SPY is nearing 395.77. What's going on with Neo? I'm seeing some mentions here. Neo's getting killed. Why? Oof. Yeah, that's ugly. That's an ugly looking candle over there. What's the support? It's a good trade, might drop every time stocks gaps up like this, not gonna lie. Let's see if we can get to $18 today. If we get to $18 or $17.36, I would love to take longs on Neo. Until we get that, it's kind of meh, not interested. All eyes on BA here. Thanks for the call out though. Whoever called it out here, BA, really appreciate it. What's our Apple doing? Right, Apple is pushing higher as well. 152 held the support. Interesting. It's coming right through the 100-day moving average. So if we do push higher on Apple, watch out for 157. That is important. And there is one more levels underneath, like 155. It's important as well. Is there any chance Meta will crash after bad earnings? To be honest with you, at this point, it's anyone's guess. You can say it's gonna pull up or it's gonna push higher. I can say it's gonna dump, but at the end of the day, no one knows, right? So it can do whatever it wants. I mean, even with the bad earnings or good earnings or whatever it is, it's anyone's guess. So that's what makes earnings an absolute gamble, because there is no idea of knowing what's gonna happen unless you're Nancy Pelosi. Of course, she knows everything, but still, you don't play earnings if possible. There are good rewards, but most of the time it doesn't work out. It's expensive. If you lose, the losses will be greater because you're paying more for the options than you usually pay because of the expected moves already baked into the premiums. A lot of tricky things you need to keep an eye out for before playing earnings. Even though the rewards are higher, the risk you're putting in is higher as well. So especially with a smaller account, though, that you can see the screenshots of like people making money and all those stuff, but what these idiots don't show you is the amount of money which they're losing. So don't fall for the trap. Anyone who be posting the receipts, yeah, don't fall for that. I try to do iron condors on Robinhood and my order never gets filled. Anyone else have that issue? Yes, sometimes it happens, because if you let's say if you try to do iron condors on SPY, the spreads will be so tight, like the bid to ask, for example, if the bid is like around, let's say 25 and the ask is like around 26, right? The bid to ask will be so tight, it'll get you filled really quick. But if you try to do iron condors on stocks like UPS or stocks like Boeing or stocks like, what else, Tesla, there should be a good premiums over there. Stocks like Apple or whatever it is, right? There is not enough volume on iron condors to actually give you a tighter spreads and a faster fill. That's the problem. So right now, what you can actually do when that happens, you gotta like increase the bid to ask. For example, if they give you like $25 credit and it's not getting filled, You have to reduce the amount of credits which you're receiving. You got to put in 23 or 22 or 20 in order to get it filled. At that point, you got to ask yourself, is it even worth it, to be honest? Because like you're losing like $5 already just to get it filled. At the end of the day, you're not getting anything back. Like the risk to reward has went down drastically. So there are a certain set of stocks which you need to keep an eye out for while doing iron condors. Only try to do it in SPY or QQQ. In that way, like, you know, you get filled really quick. And same with IWM as well. So do iron condors on indices, you'll get filled really quick. Not on individual stocks which has an average volume of 1 million or 2 million. It never works out that way. Alright, so let's focus on SPY here. Alright, SPY is headed towards that resistance again, 395.77. Let's see if we can take it. Right, again, so if you guys are short, be very careful. There is no way of knowing what will happen after FOMC. There are possibilities that they will pummel the tape down at 395.78 or 396. Still a possibility, but be very careful. There is an equal possibility that they push this shit all the way to 400 and fill that gap. Alright, Boeing slipping here, interesting. Why the fuck I have Bollinger Bands? You can get out. Yep. SPY is nearing a really important number. So let's see how it goes from here. So as I said before, be very careful today. Anything can happen. Don't gamble. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your money. You can do what you want, but think of it like a paycheck. Why will you give it away? Simple as that. If you made money today, you don't have to gamble it. Gamble it the next day to make it double or whatever it is. If you made the money today, save it. Watch AMD. Let me see AMD. What's going on there? Did we bounce from 85.40? Oof. Yes, we did. This line, 84.83. You can see the perfect bounce out there. Interesting. We should have went long yesterday, not gonna lie. We missed it. We missed a nice $4 bounce. Yeah, 89 is still the resistance to the upside. Something to keep an eye out for. If you didn't go long at the open, don't chase it now. Coming into a strong resistance levels at this moment. We are at the point where like there's no point in going short, there's no point in going long until confirmation, because all these big techs are pushing higher. 89 is something to keep an eye out for in AMD if you're trading. I think that's where the 50-day SMA is, 50 SMA is coinciding as well, which is negatively sloping. So I won't be surprised if they tag it, provided they go above the lows, which is at 88.26. That's important. So if they go above it, I won't be surprised if they tag the 50 SMA over here. What's going on with Shopify? Of course they're ripping. After a terrible earnings, of course it happens. So you can see the Shopify, they gave a nice trade yesterday at $31. It's been range bound. 31 is important to the upside. Now they're testing the 20 SMA at 33.73 and the 50 SMA, which is at $34. All these are important. Everything is running today. And just like the last few FOMCs, we run up, we dump lower, and then keep the day pinned at wherever we open. That is provided they gave a 75 basis point rate hike. And remember, tomorrow we got the GDP report coming out as well. That is important too. the GDP comes out negative again, that technically puts us in a recession. But hey, let us change the definition of what a recession is to save our political career. Yes, it's absolutely insane what's going on. It's funny, but it's insane at the same time. Going into 395.78. That's important spot. So what else you guys are playing today? Alright, so looks like these guys were playing some penny stocks in the group in our Discord. BWE, what's going on in there? This guy is so gassed about it. Let's see. BWE. Right, as he should be, because it's up like 66%. Wow, insane. So if you guys want to play this, watch out for $3, I guess. You can take the trade over there. Jesus Christ. Where did it close at yesterday? It closed at $2 and it bounced to 3. Insane, absolutely insane. Props for him though. If you guys got in along with him, congratulations. Interesting. So if you guys do want to take the recessionary trades or whatever it is, if you guys want to hedge yourself for tomorrow's report, I would say XLE puts or good hedges, because if you get a negative GDP reading, oil will completely collapse. So XLE puts, keep an eye out for it. And if you guys trade oil in the futures, you can go short with crude oil futures at CL. That is important as well, that you can short that too, because once you get a confirmation that the recession is happening, you already know the oil is going to plummet even further. And if you guys trade bonds, you can go long on TLT, because yields will pummel down as well with the 10-year yields. Let me see, XLE, note it down, XLE, TLT, XLE puts, TLT calls. All these are going to be good hedges leading into tomorrow, because if you get a negative reading, TLT will rocket, XLE will plummet. So these are all something to keep an eye out for. And to the market in itself, I can't speak, because these markets is like so goosed up right now, like nothing is going to stop it from going down kind of thing. So anything can happen though, but these two definitely will move. And TLT actually tracks the bonds. TLT is the 20-year treasury yields. If you see the 10-year, right, let me show you. So if this goes down, US 10Y goes lower, TLT goes higher. That's the correlation. Let me show the daily chart so you guys can see. So this is the last few days. You can see the correlation over here. We topped out over here on 10-year yield, and then like we bottomed out over here on TLT. Since then, there was a downtrend in 10-year yields, and there is an uptrend in TLT, negatively correlated. Yields go up, bonds go down. Bonds go up, yields go down. That's how it works. So let's see, it depends on what Powell says. If it comes out with 100 basis points hike, we'll see a knee-jerk reaction of 10-year yields and 2-year yields pushing higher. But the market will be quick to realize that they're going too fast, and they're going to push us into a recession. Now, that's a difficult thing, because when they do push us into a recession, oil will plummet, bonds will rally, and the dollar will strengthen even further. And one of the main reasons why these Google and Microsoft gave for their earnings losses is strengthening of dollar, since they have business all across the world. If the dollar gets strong, their profit margins will be affected, because the currency exchange rates will be affected. The forex markets plays a major role in the profits of the company. That's the major reason which they gave, one of the major reasons which they gave for their profits going lower. What Shopify did, what Shopify did yesterday was unforgivable, to be honest. Like, CEO said he made a mistake by making a wrong call. I mean, if you make a mistake, you should be fired. Why do you let your employees go? It's absolutely ridiculous. He let go 10% of his workforce, and in his statement he said, like, I had a vision and that vision didn't play out, so I was wrong. Yeah, if you're wrong, you quit. It's like, it's absolutely insane how these big tech oligarchs work. Zero regards to their employees. Nothing at all. So, SPY, back to SPY. Did we break about 395? Nope, still floating around. Back to BA. Did we break about 162? Oh yeah, interesting, they did. Now time to run a test to 163.29. What's the ATR? ATR is $6. Opening print at 160. Yeah, it puts us right at $166. Interesting. Alright, looks like they don't want to get us back above 162. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the opening print is at, let's see, where is it at opening print? 161.12. This area is at 161.25. Alright, that makes sense. The day is still young. Papa Powell is still around the corner. Anything can happen, so let's wait and watch. SPY still struggling at the resistance levels here. Let's go back to see AMD, what it's doing. Anything good? Nope, still under the 50-day moving average. So if AMD pulls something like this, goes here, comes lower, goes here, comes lower, and then boom, drop. If the market collapses, this is a scenario which will likely to be playing out, so something to keep an eye out for. But if Jerome comes over today and was like too bullish about the market for some goddamn reason, we'll push higher here, come back lower, and then boom, straight to 94. These are the two ways things can play out. Either we close above the 50-day moving average today at $89, tomorrow come back to run a test to this $89, and if we do, that's a viable opportunity. It's a viable opportunity to ride it all the way to 94 bucks. Let's see how Baba is doing. It was down like 3% in Hong Kong market. Yeah, not so bad. They're still holding $110. They try to breach it. $100, by the way. My bad. What the hell is that? Alright. So they're still holding the $100. Home sales release. Let me check Bloomberg. What's going on there? Oh, anything good at all? Alright, pending home sales fall 19.8% from previous years. Wow. Strong economy, everybody. I mean, if you think about it, this is what the Federal Reserve wants. They want to kill the demand. Once the demand is killed, they can take credits for, hey, look at us, we solved inflation. Bitch, you created it in the first place. So they need the demand in the housing market to go lower. They need the demand in the job markets to go lower. Technically, what they want is normal people losing their job. So the demand of the job markets cools down, and that will help bring the inflation down. I'm not even kidding. That's exactly their plan. They want the housing market to cool down. They want the jobs market to cool down. So which in turn destroys the demand, which in turn brings down the inflation. And that's why they're actually increasing their interest rates. Raising the interest rates, lower the demand, slow in demand causes all these things, and thus reducing the inflation. So this, he can't say it out in public, of course, that I need people to lose their jobs in order to, like, solve my own fuck up which I created. He can't say it in the public, but hey, we all know that's the case. Consolidating back and forth and bowing. So let's see. If we break lower, watch out for 158. If we break higher, watch out for 163. SPY is just floating around doing nothing. You can see the 5-minute chart. The only thing which is happening right now is rejection at 395. So if you guys want to go short on SPY, your stops should be at 395 and above. This is for day trades and day trades alone. So let's see how it plays out. So they were still bucking on to that 5-day moving average. Can we take a put right here at SPY 395, 65 to 77? I'd say wait for rejection, right? So because if you did it on the first time, you could have captured like a $1 move to the downside. But for now, just hold off on it. So, but if you want to take it, you can take the risk, but looks like a trend day right now. So as long as you manage your risk, you can go for it, because no one knows what's going to happen. So you set your stops at 396. And if you do get stopped out, you'll be missing out like what? How many? Like 40 cents or 50 cents in loss, which will be $30 in options. And you can just get stopped out. And if it did work out, you can trade it all the way to 394 again. We are at the top of the range, so if it works out, it works out. Good risk to reward. I say go for it. If we can get it at 396.50, even better. So this white line over here is 5-day moving average. So every day we have a trend day, what's going to happen is we push higher like this, and the next candle we come back lower, tag the 5-day moving average, and then push higher again. And then it's going to be a back and forth until like they decided to give up, because that's how these things work in general, the trend days. It's difficult to identify one. You won't see it until it actually plays out, until half of the day is over. But if you get in on it earlier, it's a good risk to reward. And there we go. It's kind of struggling over there. So let's see if we can break above it. So how's the fear levels are at the moment? Like, are people being too complacent? Of course they are. Of course. Other than anything else, this is what scares me the most. VIX being this lower. I believe people are being too complacent at this moment. Like, they don't care what the market does. They don't care about the economy. They don't care what it does. They are being bullish, and as you can see, clear rejection right over there on SPY. They said nope to 395.74 and drilled lower. So yeah, as I was saying, VIX is not you can't do technical analysis on VIX as usual, because VIX has no buyers and no sellers, right? You can't trade VIX technically, but you can trade the ETFs like VXX or whatever it is, which is the proxy for VIX. You can trade those to have an exposure to volatility, but you can't trade VIX in itself. Since there is no buyers and no sellers, there is no point in drawing support and resistance levels over there, because it doesn't work. VIX just tells you if there's a lot of people buying puts, VIX goes up. There's a lot of people buying calls, VIX goes down. That's it, the mathematical equation. So Right now, as you can see, VIX is going lower and lower and lower. That just says there is a bit of complacency in the market. People just don't give a fuck anymore. They are getting bullish and the market is pushing higher because of that fact. So if something bad happens, this thing is gonna shot up. The volume is pretty light as well. Let me show you guys what I was talking about. If you guys notice, for the past few days, see the down, you can see it on the downside. Let me push it up. This is the volume, right? Check what happened since July 19 for the past few days. The volume has been dying. There is no volume at all. We've just been slowly drilling lower and lower and lower and lower. We are below the average. So less volume means like no conviction, no participation. People are waiting on something, and once they get it, then they will hop in. Low volume days are not pretty unusual, if you ask me. There's a lot of low volume day before, but selling in low volume is different from selling in high volume, if you think about it. Same with the buying. Buying with low volume is different from buying with high volume. If you take a look at the bottoms which we made at Jan 24th and Feb 24th, you can see the volume backed up. We gapped on big time, and then we started pushing higher. And you can see the volume over here. It's one of the biggest volumes which we had in a long time, right? So, but if you take a look at Feb 24, the conviction went down a bit lower, but the volume is still tremendously huge. And then every other high volume candles, whatever we got, is just selling after selling after selling after selling. There is no big high volume. Even at the bottom which we had over here, there is no high conviction buying at all. The volume is still light. Even over here, the volume is still light. Above average, but still light. Nothing when compared to these two. Institutions are like slowly backing off. They don't want to participate in this rally. So we gotta wait and see when they show back. We need to see a volume like this. When we gap lower big time, we need to see a volume like this to pick back the indices all the way up and close the days at the highs of the day. That's when we know the bottom is in, at least for a short-term basis. Someone in my Discord shared this picture last night saying that I'm starting to believe that the people lose a lot of money in the bear markets rally than in the bear markets in itself. I tend to agree to it because the bear markets rallies are brutal. For example, if you went short here thinking that it's going to go to 350, you already lost like what, 30 points, and your puts will be like almost worthless right now. So something to keep an eye out for. Like, just play the trend. Like, bear markets are brutal. If this is your first bear market, so this is your lesson. You always get this 7% moves to the upside, 8% move to the upside. Sometimes we even had like 20% move to the upside before pummeling down lower. Rallies like this are pretty common in the bear markets. As I always say, price is the only thing that pays, so focus on the price and price alone. Whatever happens, everything else is the noise. Alright, so as I said before, keep a close eye out for 395.78, and if it breaks above it, we can easily run a test to the top of the range, which is at 396.21, I guess, the one which I mentioned in the notes. If we break above it, we can push to 398, and we can push to 400 and 401 to fill that gap. Will it happen by today? Very much possible after Powell. Until then, we're just going to float around. Market is expecting a 75 basis point rate hike. If they get it, I don't know, for some dumbass reasons, these buyers will keep on buying and buying and buying and keeping it to push higher. So I wouldn't be surprised if SPY tests 407 in upcoming days, not gonna lie. So let's see how it goes, and guys, take high probability trades, and there's nothing to see here until FOMC. So if you guys have any questions, hit me up on the Discord. I'll be active over there. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Leave a like, subscribe if you guys enjoyed the stream, and I really appreciate it. Join the Discord, join the Patreon, link is down below in the description as well. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow.